welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a chandelier using Dollar Tree products. And I'm going to be showing you substitutes to these Dollar Tree products because I do know sometimes it's hard to find certain items at Dollar Tree. And all the substitutes I'm showing you are very similar to the price you would pay at Dollar Tree. This is by far the most time consuming project I've done on this channel and probably one of the more harder ones just because for me I'm not very patient and you do want to use a heavy duty glue with this. You don't want the chandelier to just fall apart on you, so that's why you want to use a heavy duty glue mixed with your glue gun. You don't just want to use a glue gun. I didn't really want to add actual chandelier beading to it because you can't buy anything similar to actual chandelier beading at Dollar Tree. I really wanted to use products I'm positive you can get at Dollar Tree and you can get somewhere else. I'm proud with how it came out. Yeah, I could have used crystals like this, like I said, but there's nothing at Dollar Tree that is like this, so that's why I didn't want to use anything like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, if you do, please give it a thumbs up. I'm going to aim high for this one because I'm proud of it and I worked hard on it, so I'm going to aim for 5,000 likes. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching this video. Now let's get started.
So I'm going to start off by decorating the bowl. From Dollar Tree, I picked up this plastic bowl. It has these ridges inside of it, so it kind of makes gluing the gems a little harder. From Dollar Tree, you want to get their acrylic gems. Now, I know a lot of people have a hard time finding the acrylic gems, so a great substitute are the Acrylic Gems by Ashland from Michaels. They're usually $5, but if you use one of their coupons, which they always have, especially a 50% off coupon or 60%, you could pay anywhere between $2.50 to $2. And you get way more gems inside of these than you do the Dollar Tree packs. And I counted that I had 86 in my pack of the small ones that are the exact same size of Dollar Tree's ones, as well as 8 of the bigger gems. The Dollar Tree and Ashland gems are the exact same measurements. I will say though, the Ashland gems are a little bit shinier. Of course, the gems have a pointy back to them, so that makes gluing that backing a little bit hard just because of the point. So for this, you are going to have to use your hot glue as well as a heavy duty glue. Hot glue dries right away, so that's why you need it, so that as soon as you place the gem, it doesn't budge. If you just use a heavy duty glue, it's going to slide right down. But if you use only hot glue, it's going to be so easy to knock the gems off. So I'm using E6000 and I'm placing it down onto a surface. You can use whatever you want, a paper plate, a piece of paper. I'm just using the top of a gift box. Place some E6000 down on there. Then take your hot glue gun, put the hot glue on the back of the gem and then dip that into the E6000 and then place that on top of your bowl. So I would place 4 gems down in a row and then I would skip one of the little ridges on the bowl and then place 4 gems again. So it will be 4 gems in a row, skipped an area, 4 gems in a row, skipped another area, and I repeated that till I had the entire bowl with the gems facing out toward me. Like I said, you could use hot glue if you want, and that alone, you would just have a way easier time of knocking off the gems. So you would have to be very careful when handling your chandelier. And if you end up using the pearls like me, you might have a hard time doing that, especially when you're gluing everything on and you have to roll the bowl around. I just highly recommend using the heavy duty glue along with the glue gun. Here I am using just hot glue, and you can see it's really easy to do with hot glue alone, but it's easy to knock off too. Now to the empty rows, I decided to glue the gems face down. I like the contrast between each row. I didn't really want it to be all the same, but this is something that's totally up to you. Now to glue the gems face down, I'm just dipping the front of the gem into E6000 and then attaching that to the bowl. You could use a hot glue gun for this and it won't knock the gems off so easily, but the only thing is the hot glue gun, when you're gluing it this way, it spreads everywhere and it looks foggy, if that makes sense. The E6000 dries a bit clearer and the hot glue gun dries a little bit more with that foggy look. It's all about personal preference, how much time you have, how much patience you have. Everything I do on my channel is customizable. You don't have to do it exactly the way I do it. Please keep that in mind. If there's anything about this you would change, you can go ahead and do that, but I did it the way I did it. For the top of the chandelier and what's actually going to make this thing hang, I'm using one of these wire hanging baskets from Dollar Tree. Now, I've only seen them in black, so I spray paint mine's white. I will say this, because you're messing around so much with the basket, gluing other things onto it, you might end up chipping off some of the paint, especially at the top. You can always go back with some white paint and touch it up. I had most of the chipping at the very top of the wire basket, so I didn't really care because you can't even see that part when it's hanging. Now this is the most time consuming part if you do it right. I'm taking my gems and I'm gluing them to the sides of the wire basket. I do think it would look nicer if the gems were glued to the outside of the wire basket, so the back was glued to that wire. The problem is that's very, very, very hard to do and very, very time consuming. So I just decided to glue the front of the gems to the wire that's in the inside. So if that makes sense, but you can see what I'm doing, so it does make sense. I'm using E6000 to do this. Now this is why it's a little bit time consuming. You have to hold the gem in place until it starts to dry a bit, so it's a little bit more time consuming. You want to hold the gem in place until you see it not trying to fall off anymore. For me, that took about 2 minutes of holding each gem. Then you want to wait for the entire row to dry for at least 30 minutes. Now you can do 3 rows at once. Place an object behind the wire basket so it's up on its side, and then you can apply 3 rows of gems. You want to wait about half an hour for the glue to dry. Now it's not going to completely dry at this point, but it's enough where you're not going to knock off the gems, and then you can continue the process. And that's why this is the most time consuming part. It's just you have to wait for the glue to dry. Again, you can use hot glue, and I'm going to show you guys right now me using hot glue. It's super quick, super simple, but the thing is you can knock it off really, really easy. Once I have all my gems placed and the glue is almost dried, I go ahead and I place some E6000 on the bottom of the wire basket and attach it to the plastic bowl. Because how the wires are kind of set up at the bottom of this wire basket, some areas won't necessarily directly touch the bowl. So to make sure this thing isn't going to fall on top of my head, I went ahead and I just applied hot glue around some of the wire pieces. And then if I see any spacing between the wire and the plastic, I go ahead and I shove some E6000 into that spacing, because like I said, I don't really want to be standing under the chandelier one day and then a plastic bowl falls on top of my head. So I'm trying to prevent that. The next material you're going to want to use for the chandelier are pearls, or little circle necklaces. So Dollar Tree does carry these beaded necklaces. They're 31 inches long. They come in a 6-pack. They have them normally in gold and in multicolor. Now people do spray paint them, and spray painting them really is a pain in the butt. Trust me, I've done it before. You have to like roll it around, or you can honestly just go to a craft store and get them for around the same price. So I got this His and Hers Pearl Garland. It was half off, so I got it for $3, and I don't have to spray paint it. I'm going to be sure that this isn't just going to chip off the spray paint on this. There's 25 feet in one of those little containers of this. For $3, you do get a bit more length if you just get the Dollar Tree beaded necklaces, but you do have to spray paint them. So it's much easier just to buy pearls, and they have them for a less expensive price at Michael's. This is just an easier way of doing it without having to spray paint it or worrying about the spray paint chipping off, because you're going to be handling this so much when you're making it. I decided to go with the Hobby Lobby pearls, which like I said, they do carry this at Michael's. They carry it at Joann Fabrics. It's just easier to do, but this is not like it's something that you cannot substitute with another product from Dollar Tree, and you can't get it at Dollar Tree. You can get the beaded necklaces and use that instead. You just have to end up spray painting. To glue the pearls to the bowl, I'm using a hot glue gun. The hot glue gun is fine for this. You don't have to use E6000. You know, the only way this is going to fall off if somebody came and tried to yank the pearls off. It's not going to fall. Hot glue is fine for this. Now what I did was I cut rows of 18 pearls, so 5 of them. Then I cut rows of 26 pearls, 5 of them. I put the smaller row down first, and then I attach the bigger row around the smaller row, so it makes a nice little layer. And then eventually I cut rows of 36 pearls, and then I glue them on top of that. So then you just have this really pretty chandelier effect coming from the bottom of the bowl. I then take the pearls I have left over and I cut 5 rows of 46 pearls each. Now you should end up with 6 rows left over if you buy the exact same pearls that I used. The thing was, I cut off some when I was trying to estimate how much I wanted things to be, but you should have 6 left over if you do exactly what I did. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking those rows and I'm using hot glue to attach them at the top. So I just make a big wad of hot glue at the top, and then I take that and I glue that to the very top of the chandelier. And I put a lot of hot glue there so I can be sure this isn't going to fall off. Now you want to take the top of the chandelier, lift it up, and start gluing the pearls to the plastic bowl. So they're attached to the plastic bowl and attached to the top of the chandelier. You will end up having to cut up some excess pearl because you don't really want it drooping over the gems. Again, hot glue is fine to use to glue the pearls. You don't really need to use E6000 if you don't want to. If you want to cover the wad of hot glue at the top of your chandelier, you can go ahead and take some of the pearls you just cut off and then just use them to cover up that hot glue wad. To give this chandelier some light, I'm going to go ahead and use one of these circle vases, and I'm putting some fairy lights inside of it. Dollar Tree does carry fairy lights. And then I place that on top of the chandelier, right in the center between the pearl strands. You can always glue the vase down. I decided I didn't want to do that, but it's up to you. The final thing I decided to do was glue gems just around the little glass vase. You can use the Dollar Tree gems, but because I had some big gems from my Michael's gem kit, I went ahead and used those just because they were bigger and they took up more space rather than me having to place a bunch of little ones around there. And I'm just using my hot glue gun to do this. A hot glue gun is fine to use when you're gluing these gems down just because there's more surface for the back to lie on top of. It lies on top of the plastic bowl. The other gems didn't have much surface for it to lie on top of, so that's why you wanted to use the E6000 with those gems. So that's it for this chandelier tutorial. I will say, like I said, this is the hardest tutorial I've done. It's a little bit more time consuming. It should be easier for you guys just because I went through the error and trial and trying to figure out how to do this. So you guys saw the condensed version of this. It's a little bit time consuming, like I said, though. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, give it a thumbs up. I tried my best, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.